Adam and I seem to have just this wonderful intellectual bond, an emotional bond. And I, when we weren't working, something seemed to be missing in my life, So when the call came, of course, yeah, I'd love to do it. We discussed every time we do a film, we start blue skying as to what we're going to do next. And he'd thrown the idea out about this film when we were doing Vice, and I'm just thrilled that he actually wrote it and it came to fruition. Yeah, so as opposed to doing historical research, what I wanted to do was research into natural history. I wanted to show the juxtaposition of like the folly of our characters with the eternal yet very delicate state of nature on this planet, on our planet. So, I mean, I just spent months looking at everything from amoebas to hippopotami, and the approach was much. It was actually much more of a spiritual approach, and because this cataclysm occurs all over the planet, I was looking at just very weird like television from Ceylon and just. All kinds of video clips and photographs, and the way people pray, the way people cry, and the way people are joyful, and it all became just intrinsically interwoven with the cutting of the film. It's interesting because my inspirations don't come from other movies, and especially the way I cut. I take inspiration honestly from music, from artwork, pointillism, surrealism, and I I just find that the way I think about film is it becomes very metaphorical and it becomes more of a flow. Adam is just so brilliant. He's just so beyond, and sometimes I would get a little complacent, and he he would whip me. It's like, no, we don't. This isn't right yet. So and eventually we sort of both dragged each other along. I couldn't have asked for a better partner. My relationship with Adam, or my collaboration, is one that's just based on feeling safe as an editor, that fundamentally it's existential, that I'm not going to lose my job, that that he's open to the possibilities of what I'm bringing. And many times uh, I'll well, Adam well knows this, I'll fall in love with absurd shots. There was a shot of a worm that that I loved, and Adam and I mean, we just went head to head over it. We had such unbelievable riches in the actors, and they were just so fantastic. But sometimes I would try to find moments when they weren't aware of the fact that they were being filmed. I might work with pieces that were shot before the take started. One thing that's just so fantastic about these actors and the way Adam directs actors in general is they become the characters. I'm always looking for little moments where you can find a germ of truthfulness that everybody can relate to. I mean, we all know what it's like to look at something with curiosity and maybe contempt, or admiration. There were little things. I played around with time, where I would have people thinking, and I might have a freeze frame. I might cut to a different shot and freeze it, and just so basically the two moments, the shot where it's in motion, and then a tiny bit different part of the shot where it wasn't in motion, where it was frozen, create like just a different emotional valence, a different value. And that stuff like that, it probably just goes right by most people. It works for me. It helps me understand the film. And, Adam seems to like it, so he hasn't gotten rid of him yet, and it's too late now. Honestly, I think some of my more favorite scenes are where you see where you see the DiCaprio character descend into this venal man, and he's so much like all of us. You get rewarded and you start identifying with your captors a little bit. One of the greatest challenges for me was finding the tone of the film. The scenes themselves, I'd put the scenes together and they'd be great, but then you put them all together and it wasn't so great. And I've never worked on a film that was quite this bedeviling, that you really had to have an understanding of the emotional conversations that were going on, and the unspoken conversations, and the internal conversations. So that became the most challenging part. And it isn't even editing for me so much as contemplation. It's like, what the fuck is this? What am I doing here? What am I trying to say? And it was a moving target, because every couple of weeks the film would just radically shift. It's almost like this triptych of paintings by Hieronymus Bosch, of like man's folly, avarice in The Big Short, and insecurity in the pursuit of power and vice, and then this is very existential. It's divine comedy. Nick is one of my dearest friends, and we are always just looking for the tone of whatever we're working on, whether it's a movie, whether it's a television commercial, anything. So, I will sometimes I'll show Nick just dailies, and we'll talk about. Well, I'll tell him how I want the dailies to work, and he'll just sit at his computer, or he'll sit at a keyboard and just play a few notes, and we'll just sort of riff. I mean, I've equated it to playing music with each other. And it is. And Adam is part of that too. It's like Adam will be playing an instrument, I'll be playing something, Nikki will be playing something. And I've never had that kind of relationship. It's more of a musical relationship, even with Adam. Where we're a couple of musicians, or with Nick, 3 musicians, a trio, just trying to come up with a work. I'd be thrilled if people in an audience were able to realize that you have to believe in the truth. It's really very simple, and whatever that truth may be, wherever it leads us, as opposed to anything else is folly. So if that's our takeaway, then I would be very happy. I'm sure Adam would too.